Hello and welcome to this live video. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. And thanks for receiving in advance. So today I just want to tell you a little bit about a tree that I've been hanging out with. I've been spending a lot of time at the Botanic Gardens. It's been really quite profound, and often I go there in the nighttime. I don't know why exactly. I seem to be much more comfortable with experiencing magic states when it can't be seen. And actually, I don't think I should say I don't know why. I think we're gonna uncover in this video why exactly, so stay tuned. So I've been spending time in these gardens. I go there walking at night, and I always just kind of go with the flow, just travel where I feel compelled to travel to. I might walk down a path and then suddenly feel, I guess, drawn, pulled in a different direction. And spending time in the gardens has been a great way to fine-tune my resonance. If I really just deeply listen, where is it that I feel to go? Where is it that my soul is calling me to? And can I allow my soul to be that which moves me, which drives me? And when I think of the soul, I suppose I think of something incorruptible, something pure and loving and sent from a larger divine source. And I guess I feel like our soul gives us life. So if I just follow the soul's calling or inclination or driving mechanism, then I will find my way home. And yet more and more I feel like I am home, which is pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. Making these videos has been profound for me in the sense that I've kind of started to feel a mundaneness about them too. You know, there was a time when to make a video felt like something alien, and that's because it wasn't practiced. It felt like something intimidating, and that was because it wasn't practiced. And so the practice of making these videos has been such a gift to me, most of all. And so it's cool to anchor that with or without an audience, you know, because I don't even know if anyone's watching these, and they're an offering somehow because I'm putting them out there publicly, but I don't want to build up some great meaning around them. They're simply me being myself, or expressing myself, sharing myself, whatever that means. And the words or the stories that I gather or realize or think about or understand during a day, you know. So I met this African sausage tree a few days ago. and it was an incredible experience for me because I was walking through the gardens in the darkness of night, as I normally do, and I just like felt this tree kind of go like, hey. And I looked at the placard, and it talked about how this tree was really sacred, and that every part of the plant was seen as sacred and seen to have medicinal value. I went closer to the tree, and I felt a great sense of fear. It was very dark. This was a tree that was not lit. Many trees in the gardens are lit, but this tree was not lit. And it was kind of like tucked away almost. Like, yeah, really interesting. So it has its own little nest. And I went into its nest, and it talked to me. After I felt the fear, it kind of communicated to me. So that's what's really interesting about nature or other beings or spirits or the non-visible world, the non-physical reality that we are constantly surrounded by. At any point it can communicate with us, and sometimes it communicates through thought, sometimes it communicates through feeling, sometimes it communicates through images or through sounds, or through some kind of direct transmission of information that really feels like an idea just lands in your head. So I went closer to this tree, and it kind of indicated to me that the reason why I felt afraid of it was really because I feel afraid of my own darkness. And that was the first time I went to visit it. And I gradually worked my way up to connecting with the tree physically. I laid my hands on her, and she showed me how she was like a very, very big portal between the upper and the lower worlds, and this world. So within a lot of, I guess, shamanic frameworks, there is an upper and a lower, and then there's this one. So today, when I went to visit her, it's wild. I had my boyfriend with me, and I really, really wanted to go and see her, and I wanted to introduce him to her, but it was also the end of the night, and the gardens were going to close, and we'd had an interaction with one of the wardens in the gardens, patrol officer, and they'd kind of been like, "You have 10 minutes to leave," and I was feeling this tension, feeling like we had to get out of there, but also I really wanted to see this tree, so we went to see her, and I just felt this kind of a little bit of stress the whole time, but I still I held my ground. I went there, and I stood underneath her giant branches and looked at her sausages, and I just felt suddenly a great crazy awareness of my shadows, a great crazy awareness of my darkness, and an understanding that whenever I perceive some kind of demonic presence or entity or being that comes from darkness, that is communicating with me, and I see it as darkness, one of the main reasons why I'm able to see it and that I see it as darkness is because it's resonating with something within me, is because somehow there is information within the field that I am, which allows me to communicate with the energy that I am perceiving. And I suddenly felt again this great sense of fear, and I almost felt a kind of force from the tree that I immediately labeled as intimidating. And it was, I think, really directly a consequence of me having this exchange with the person who was patrolling the gardens, who told us to leave. So after having this moment where I felt really afraid, standing under the tree in complete darkness, the leaves just rustled out of nowhere, just moved, and it was beautiful, because in that moment I knew the larger spirit of nature, of the earth, had said hello. And I just had this feeling of worlds colliding, a world that I have created in my mind where the darkness cannot be trusted. And obviously this world comes from somewhere. So when I was a kid, I come from a really religious family. And whenever there was a blackout and we were at my grandmother's house, the adults used to light candles and tell us that when the world was going to end, there would be 10 days of darkness, and it would be like this. And there would be scary creatures roaming the earth, and we would be tested, and it would be decided whether we would go to heaven or hell. Pretty crazy, traumatic stuff. Now that I think about it, it's like, no wonder why I was afraid of the dark. No wonder why I've been afraid of the dark my whole life. And I just had this understanding that true mastery is really being able to hold, accept, acknowledge, and see the shadows, and to almost be able to dwell within them, just as we are able to dwell within the light with such attachment. What if I was able to dwell within the shadows with the same amount of love, pleasure, joy when I'm in the dark, when I'm in the light? Love, pleasure, joy. I really feel like it's possible. And increasingly, it seems to be a reality that I might touch. And it's this tree, I feel, that is teaching me these crazy lessons. Just through being like a projection in a way as well of this bridge between the upper and the lower worlds, which I feel that I am. And why is it that I deem that which is dark or dwells in the dark or labeled as evil or demonic as terrifying? Because that terror, that feeling of fear, that feeling of resistance is actually what prevents me from engaging with the darkness, is what prevents us from engaging with those larger systems of control, those larger systems of oppression, which we are here to change, which we can transform with our acceptance of those darker states within ourselves. So thank you, Sausage Tree. And yeah, I'm sure I have many more lessons to learn from her, which I look forward to sharing with you as they unfold. So have a wonderful evening, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.